that it's nothing that's going to be real serious.
Hey, it's FYF Sportsman, it's Lamont, and we are back with another podcast episode, man. We're doing another reaction video to the game of the night tonight, and this game ultimately really wasn't a game of the night. Utah Jazz, been one of the better teams in the West, but we kind of know what to expect from them, and the Lakers as of late, doesn't seem like things are kind of falling in place. The trade deadline has passed. People are, we're just hoping to see, some semblance of a change, within the players on the court, within that coaching staff, maybe to give the Lakers a little bit of life. And I think today, this gave Laker fans a little bit of hope. I mean, there's some unfortunate news with the injury to Anthony Davis with the ugly ankle turn. I know some of you guys saw that. Just very ugly to see that. Hopefully he can get back soon. Luckily for Anthony Davis, x-rays came back and identified that there was no structural damage, no major tears, anything like that. So probably just going to be a matter of time of when you're going to be able to get him back. We probably won't see Anthony Davis on the court until well after the All-Star break. But today's game really turned out to be a special game because of how the Lakers reacted and played after Anthony Davis went down. We've seen the Lakers in situations like this multiple times before this year, and we've seen how that roster, those young players, even some of the vets, and even LeBron James at times, how they've folded when they've seen one of their stars go down. Similar, obviously this is the second time we've seen Anthony Davis go down with the injury. And so I was watching for how would this team react against one of the better teams in the West. You're talking about the number one offensive team in the NBA, and the Lakers have been struggling mightily on the defensive end. How would they fare without their best defensive player on the floor, man? We're going to get to those highlights tonight. Before we get started with today's video, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you haven't done so already. And salute to you guys for pulling up today, man, for this reaction video. We're going to have to go ahead and get to the footage show. Again, before we even get started, make sure you guys spam up in the comments your thoughts about the Lakers. I just need to know you guys' general thoughts about this Laker team. And do you guys honestly believe, and this will be a live premiere, I'll throw up a poll. Do you guys honestly believe that the Lakers can turn this season around and actually make a legitimate run in the playoffs? I was on multiple channels prior to today, and I said that, look, although things are ugly in LA, they still have at least a puncher's chance because they have 3 all-stars on that roster with a lot of playoff experience. We have Russell Westbrook. We know over the last 3 to 4 seasons, we know how Russell Westbrook activates during the second half of the season. He's been consistent with that. And when he activates, it's to another level. LeBron James. We've seen LeBron James turn things on, right? But we've also seen LeBron James kind of falter, especially when those guys on the bench and Anthony Davis is not around to kind of help him, as it just looks like LeBron is just out there doing everything for this team. So again, I think that's the biggest conversation right there, because this year of all years, there's so many questions with the injuries just popping up randomly. It's hard to tell what team is going to come out of the East, what team is going to come out of the West. I mean, Milwaukee looks good, right? But then they deal with injuries like earlier in the year, and then they look like a 500 team, right? Brooklyn looks unstoppable, but we don't know if Ben Simmons is going to even play this year. All right. We have Miami Heat look nice, but can Kyle Lowry stay healthy? Can Jimmy Butler stay on the floor? Can they keep that core together long enough to even compete in the playoffs? And then when you go to the West, are the Utah Jazz real? Are the Phoenix Suns real? Can they have staying power in the playoffs, or will they always be known as those teams that flop in the biggest moments? The Golden State Warriors at the beginning of the year looked like they were going to tear through everybody in the West. But now, without Draymond Green on the floor, and there's even some people out there saying he could be out for the season, can they survive and get through this season or even make a playoff run without Draymond Green on that roster? So a lot of questions in both conferences. I think if there was any year where the Lakers, as bad as they have been, if there was any year where they would still have a shot, it would definitely have to be this year, just based on how many question marks so many other teams have in this league. And can you even trust the teams that are at the top right now? So, as we get into these highlights, those are just some of the things that I wanted to round up. Want you guys to look forward to talking about some of those things when we get into our NBA live stream later on. But we got to go ahead and get to these highlights. Lakers versus Jazz, man. And we just going to break it down. I really want to emphasize and show you guys some points of emphasis on the defensive side of the ball and even the offensive side of the ball that I appreciated from the Lakers and the Utah Jazz. Let's go ahead and get to the highlights. Lakers Jazz tip off. Right, and for me, the biggest question of the night in this game right here has been something that's hampered the Lakers all season long. Can they get off to a good start against a team like the Utah Jazz, one of the best offenses in the NBA, actually the number one offense in the NBA? The biggest question was going to be, can they get off to a good start? Because you cannot play from behind and moving the ball around early. Russ with the three. Russ with a great game himself tonight. You got to appreciate how he's been playing, especially ever since that Golden State Warrior game. Donovan Mitchell, deep three right there. The man dropped 37 points tonight. I mean, he was making everything. And when you look at the defense, like Stanley Johnson plays right here, highly contested, right? He doesn't go for the fake off the pick and the roll. You can't ask for better defense. Sometimes you have to live with some of these stars making tough shots. Russ, great pass to AD. And you have to try to exploit this. And I like what Russ was doing tonight, exploiting Rudy Gobert, bringing him out the paint, but not necessarily taking a lot of bad shots. He was making the right plays off of those reads. Clarkson comes right into the game. First shot, knocks it down over Horton Tucker. And Horton Tucker, who's been struggling defensively all year, struggled in the first half defensively, had a better game in the second half. Bron with a take to the rim right there. Just unstoppable tonight, 13 in the first half. There's Clarkson probing in the lane. Tough shot over Horton Tucker. And I don't like how Horton Tucker gave up on that play. It looks, I felt like he still could have put up a tougher contest. And I think those are some of the types of things we need to see out of this Laker team, giving that second extra effort on the defensive end to win games. AD, man, shooting 17% from the three this year. Finally makes it three. I think, unfortunately he had to go down with that injury after having such a great first half. Bron's just been bullying his way to the rim. Hard to believe that the man is 37. Great drive to the rim. Tough right there. A lot of people would have asked why that help didn't come from the weak side. It's kind of hard to leave that strong side shooter, man. Those guys have been making a lot of threes. Got to stay home. Another three right there. And Jazz is the best three-point shooting team in the league. They take the most. They make the most. And another great pay by. I love what Russ is doing, probing the lane. When I mean probing the lane, it means he's slowing up his dribble, surveying how Gobert is defending, and then throwing it over the defense, man. You got to appreciate what he's been doing. Whiteside with a tough oop right there. I like what Whiteside has been doing for this Jazz team in that backup role as well. Jazz did a good job at getting him to sign in the offseason. Mitchell with a tough pull-up three. Again, the man, when he's playing lights out, man, you can't stop him. But, at the end of the day, this correlates to one of the Lakers' biggest weaknesses. They cannot defend on the perimeter. Right? That's something they're going to have to shore up the second half of the season after the All-Star break while LeBron bullies his way to another layup. Conley with the ISO on LeBron. Great drive. But, again, that weak side help is not putting enough coverage on Gobert. These alley-oops to the backside of the D is looking too easy. Bron with a deep three. He's been looking more and more confident on that three-point line. It's just surprised me. I never thought that we would see LeBron shoot the ball so comfortably and confidently in his career. But his form looks great, his poise looks great, and the shots is falling. THT with a great pass, LeBron with a great read, cutting behind the defense. Guys are not watching or seeing man and ball. And Donovan Mitchell right here, great crossover on Stanley Johnson. Gets into the lane, gets into his body. Tough left-hand layup right there. Ooh, Mitchell is tough, man. One of the best young guards in the league. Malik Monk. I like this three right here. I mean, this is one of the threes where Frank Vogel is probably like, no, no, no. But then it goes in. You got to live or die with those shots. That's what Malik Monk can bring. Stanley Johnson, man, blocked by Rudy Gobert. Jazz get off. And this is where the Jazz kind of jump-started their run. And it looked like, and this was a moment in the game where the Utah Jazz would just take off, generally where the Lakers start to fail, especially with Anthony Davis out. Mike Conley with a great probe, gets to the rim with the layup. The Lakers are starting to go down 7 right now. Brown with the kick out. Malik Monk. I love the way Malik Monk played today. Patient drive right there. Russ was making some great passes tonight. And this is what I mean by without that pressure from the trade deadline and Russ can just kind of go out there and play without hearing all the chatter from the media tonight. He fell into his role. He valued every possession and made the right plays against this Jazz defense. Austin Reeves is tough, man. Making the most of his opportunity with the Lakers. I like his length, and I like how he's fell into his role as a shooter in a 3-and-D type of player. And you see the Lakers right here down 12. Brian gets to the rim, slices through the defense. This is where a lot of people start to criticize Gobert because when you attack him head on from the perimeter, he struggles with that downhill defensive activity. Brown, great finish right there, reverses it to avoid Rudy Gobert, and Gobert can't do nothing as LeBron protects the layup with the rim. Brown coming off the pick and roll, step back jumper, and again, look at this man is shooting fadeaway jumpers comfortably, and this is where people need to watch out. If he's making this shot and guys around him like Bazemore can come off the bench and make corner threes like that right there, and this is what they've been seeking out of Bazemore. More activity defensively, fewer turnovers, and make open threes. Conley right there with a great drive, floater over Reeves. LeBron, I love the pick and roll action with LeBron and any center they have on this roster. And he's going right at these Utah bigs, right into their chest, and then avoiding them with the reverse to the other side of the rim. Just high IQ basketball. Don't get better than that. Clarkson, man. It's just something about having players that are non-pattern players. Clarkson, who's clearly a non-pattern player, can get outside of the offense to do what he wants. And then we talk about non-pattern players. Donovan Mitchell was just killing the Lakers all night. Monk with a steal right there. And in the second half, especially the fourth, you got to give credit to Taylor Horton-Tucker and Malik Monk for stepping up to the challenge, playing great defense. And as we go under 5 minutes of this game, you know, with Donovan Mitchell cruising as Reeves goes for the and one, LeBron James said he was going to take up the assignment of guarding Donovan Mitchell. We'll see more highlights of that later. Russ in transition. And now Russ can be Russ. Get to the rim. Right? And when you need him, remember the fourth quarter, this is when Russ needs to activate. Take it slow, but then pick your moments when you get the opportunity to. And Russ did a great job of doing that with 16 points on the night. LeBron James probes. Great pass to Russ. Russ, again, picking his moments. Great activity off ball. Why probably the most important and one of the game as he gets the and one and makes the free throw. And then Brian. I'm talking about, man, these finishes, man. 37-year-old finishing in the lane like that. Right? And when Brian did that, I almost knew they would win with the momentum he had. And then he comes down, and this is LeBron James being LeBron James. Pull up three. Nothing you can do. He's cooking right now. Ties the game with a big three. Lakers get a crucial stop. Get the ball back. And this is what I like about Russ. If you watch what Russ just does right here. Probes the lane, patient, kicks it to the LeBron, and the dunk to take the lead. This is what they've been needing out of Russell Westbrook all season. More patience, more activity off ball, and your opportunities will come. And then Bron knocks down the dagger 3 with under 2 minutes. Jazz get the ball back. And this is where the Lakers have failed as well. Late game, can they get stops? Bogdanovich with a big 3 right there. But the Lakers were able to do what? Not turn the ball over and make free throws. And they gave themselves a chance to win this game. Russ attacks the rim right there, makes a smart decision. And what does Austin Reeves do with that opportunity? He seals the game with a dagger 3. The Lakers wins this game 101-106. Big time win without Anthony Davis. Hopefully the news is good on him as LeBron James greets Aaron Donald.
LeBron James 33 points tonight, but boy, what do you think catalyzed that comeback in the fourth quarter?
Just defensive intensity, paying attention to the details, and being able to attack their defense, just trying to exploit some of the things they're able to do. They're a great defensive team, and it's probably because of Rudy. But, you know, we kept the ball movement. Guys got in a good rhythm, and we was able to get a lot of stops from the defensive end. Obviously, all-star Donovan Mitchell was spectacular, especially in that first half, so we tried to just, you know, make it a little bit more tougher on him in the second half. We was able to do that and able to get back into the game.
LeBron, you are taking more threes than ever in your history. Your game, your shot profile, things change. But in the fourth quarter, 15 monumental points, and it felt like it was much about your will. Can you describe what you were thinking once we hit that final 12 minutes?
I didn't like the way I finished the game off in Golden State on Saturday. It was unlike me to go 1 for 10 in a quarter, especially in closing time. So I knew if I got the opportunity once again, then I was going to make the most of it. Not saying that all my shots going to go in, but I was going to, you know, do what I had to do to try to help us get a win. I was able to do that, Doris.
Yeah.
LeBron, you had a key dime tonight to Austin Reeves, the rookie who continues to make big shots. How big was it for you guys tonight to close it out with that shot you made?
We had a lot of trust in Austin. That's why he's on the floor late in the game and throughout the whole season. So, you know we're putting a lot on his plate, you know, for him being a rookie. But under the circumstances, he's had to take that responsibility. He's welcoming with open arms. So, you know, it's great to have him on the floor late in the game, and he always comes up big for us.
LeBron, last one for you. Russell Westbrook tonight, 6 for 13. He has endured an awful lot of criticism. How do you keep his spirits up, and what did you see from him standing into the free throw line and knocking down those big shots?
Big time. You know, as soon as he got fouled, I told him to go ahead and close the game out. That's exactly what he did. He's been in pressure situations before. Guy's been to the NBA Finals before, been an MVP, multiple All-Stars, and you know, obviously the rap sheet speaks for itself. So, you know, I just want Russ to be himself. Don't care about all the outside noise and things of that nature, because at the end of the day, you can control what you can control, and that's what happens throughout the 4 lines. And he did that tonight, and we needed it from him.
LeBron, thanks for joining us, and put some Lobos in the cup at All-Star Weekend.
Listen, you already know I'm about to get it going right now.
Okay. Thanks,
all right, guys. You got it.
All right, we're going to go ahead and break down stats for the Utah Jazz. Jazz, again, showed why. This is why they cannot be trusted in the playoffs, man. When they have the opportunity to close teams out, it just seems like they do not have enough scoring on the floor. They have a lot of defense. I don't feel like, or nor do I believe they have enough shot makers on the floor to sustain any deep runs on the playoffs, and they chuck up too many threes. Now tonight, Donovan Mitchell, well, we can't say that about him because the man was 13 of 24 from the field, 37 points. He carried the way for this Utah Jazz team, but they really didn't get much offensive firepower from anybody else on the floor. You only can credit that Laker defense. Look, if somebody's cooking, let them cook. Just make sure everybody else ain't cooking with them. We got Bojan Bogdanovich, who dropped 15 points, but he shot 5 of 14 from the field. Royce O'Neal with 10 points. Really not much of an impact on the game. Mike Conley, again, point guards against this Los Angeles Laker team have been able to light them up. The Lakers did a good job of shutting Mike Conley's ability not just to score, but his playmaking down, as Mike Conley goes for 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. So not a very impressive night for him as well. Jordan Clarkson did come off the bench and give them 13 points on 6 of 14 shooting. But when we move on to the Los Angeles Lakers, more of a balanced type of approach, especially from that bench. We have LeBron James, obviously player of the game in this one right here, coming on a late, scoring 10 points in a row late in the fourth, really to seal the deal. And it wasn't his offense, because the offense shouldn't really impress anyone at this point in time with LeBron James. is really, for me, it was really the defensive intensity from all of the Lakers, and then LeBron James's willingness to step up. All of those players have been doing a good job. Well, not necessarily a good job, but look, they were out there contesting shots against Donovan Mitchell. But LeBron James said, you know what, the last couple of minutes of this game, we're going to make sure Donovan Mitchell doesn't beat us. He took up that defensive assignment. While taking up the defensive assignment, he shot 14 to 23 from the field, 60% from the field, 33 points, close to a triple-double. Anthony Davis played 16 minutes tonight. Before he went down, he left the game with 17 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Malik Monk playing 30 minutes tonight, 13 points. But again, you have to give the man credit for taking advantage of his opportunity, not just to be on the court, but defending at a high level. Russell Westbrook, man, 33 minutes tonight. Great activity and energy from this man, especially defensively. You have to give him credit for that. Now, Russ did have 5 turnovers tonight, but I feel like he wasn't making the types of live ball turnovers that cost you the game, right? Dead ball turnovers you can live with. When you're trying to make a live pass and maybe it gets bobbled. We saw that with Dwight Howard a few times, and it just goes sailing out of bounds. Yes, you get credit for that turnover, but we don't really critique you or criticize you as harshly when we see those types of turnovers happen. So again, 5 turnovers, a bit too much. But we can live with the type of turnovers that he had in this game right here, even though you want to see those numbers drop. 17, 7, and 6 for Russell Westbrook. Give Taylor Horton-Tucker credit tonight. A lot of people are going to look at his stat line and be like, man, this man only gave us 3 points tonight. Yeah, he gave you 3 points, but his defense and activity in the second half, if you saw this man scrambling out, going after loose balls, same as Russell Westbrook, that is what helped win the game. And this is what the Lakers need. They need more players, less focused on scoring, and more players more worried about being active and giving activity on the defensive end of the court. And that's what Austin Reeves, Taylor Horton-Tucker, and Russell Westbrook all did tonight. Now, Austin Reeves only 9 points on the night, but he did seal the deal with that late 3 that put the Lakers up 4. And this is what LeBron James has been needing all year long. Guys need to make open shots when your number is called. And this is one of the ways. This is how LeBron James has had a lot of success on teams that a lot of people felt couldn't be successful in this league, because these guys were willing to step up and make tough shots, whether they've been in the game 30 minutes or whether they're coming fresh off the bench. You have to be willing and ready to take and make these threes, because with that 24-second shot clock, you cannot just allow LeBron James to try to bail you out with tough buckets every single possession. So I think the Lakers did a good job of between balance, smart offense, taking your shots when they're there. We saw Russell Westbrook do that, and then not hanging your heads when Anthony Davis goes down with injury. I love what they did when Anthony Davis went down injury. Everybody dapped him up. But what did we not see? We didn't see the somber faces. We didn't see the bad attitudes. We didn't see a lot of people soaking. They went right back to business. Yes, they did get down, right? Well, we know how potent that Utah Jazz offense is. They got down, but they were able to fight back. And LeBron James, all you have to do is give him an opportunity, especially if you're getting stops on the defensive end. And that is what the Lakers did tonight. So great win for the Lakers. Now, here's the problem with the Lakers. Every time they have an impressive win, they generally this year have followed it up with the horrible, horrible loss. All right, so in the Lakers' next game, we are going to be watching. Are they going to show some type of sustainability with regards to their attack? And it should not matter who they play. We know the Lakers have one of the toughest schedules to finish out the season. They had a cupcake schedule to start the season, but now, because they did not take care of their business early, they're going to have to come in and night out and put up an effort similar to what we saw tonight every single night, man. So, again, salute to the Lakers for taking this one home in L.A. LeBron and the Lakers surged past the visiting Jazz 106-101, man. So, there we have it right there, man. Great highlight video for the night. Lakers versus Jazz game of the night. Again, tonight was filled with a lot of great games. That Golden State Warrior Denver Nugget game was great. Again, Golden State kind of showed us why that team is just not the same without Draymond Green. As great as Klay Thompson is, Draymond Green makes that team function properly. And without him, the defense isn't the same. right? Tonight, where you need somebody to slow up Jokic. I think Jokic had 33 points or 35 points. Just, you needed Draymond Green on the floor to kind of shuttle his playmaking. And then we see the Warriors lose on a buzzer beater by Monty Morris. So we got to keep our eyes open for all these teams. I still believe that the West is wide open. I do not think there's a team that has a firm grip on the West. Too many things are changing. Obviously, the Phoenix Suns are streaking right now. But as I've said before, can Chris Paul stay healthy? That is not the best team in the West if Chris Paul isn't healthy. We need to monitor that situation with Chris Paul as well. Now, he got ejected from the night's game, and he was holding his wrist like he had a hand injury, and that's that same wrist that was bothering him last year, late season in the playoffs. It's the same wrist that he had that procedure on in the offseason. So, is this when Chris Paul breaks down? Is that injury serious? Will he be back? Is he going to be able to play through it? Is it going to affect his ability to play make? So we have to watch the Phoenix Suns. Keep your eye on the Warriors. Obviously, the Jazz, they're going to chuck up a lot of threes in the regular season, but it's not going to be sustainable in the postseason. So many questions out there with the Clippers. Is Kawhi Leonard and Paul George coming back? We don't know. More than likely, it looks like those two are done for the season. No sense of bringing them back. But the Clippers look like they're still formidable right now without those guys. So you probably don't want to see them in a play-in game if you're like a Laker team and you're stuck at that 9 or 10 seed. You're just looking to scrape and claw your way in to get an 8 seed or bid for the 8 seed. So a lot of things to watch out for. The East is, still being the East. Pretty solid over there, but the Chicago Bulls, the team looked like one of the top 3 teams in the East. They've now kind of mellowed out with a lot of injuries to Caruso, Lonzo Ball, Zach LaVine with that nagging knee injury, and really all they got left right now is DeMar DeRozan and Vucevic. And is that going to be enough to keep them elite in the East? We have the Celtics, who are surging. They were on a 9-game win streak. That was obviously snapped tonight by the Detroit Pistons, but still, if they find a way with Derek White on that roster now, if they find a way to get going, nobody wants to see Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown in the playoffs in any round. That's just too much of a wild card. We saw what happens when you give those young guys an opportunity in the playoffs, right? And you allow them to play with confidence. And it looked like they are starting to streak at the right time. So there are a number of teams starting to kind of show who they are, show their true colors. Obviously, Charlotte's falling off the map a little bit. The Sixers took a tough loss yesterday, losing just by an ungodly amount of points. Right, horrible loss right there. I'm not sure what Doc Rivers has going over there, but hopefully when James Harden returns after the All-Star break, things will look a little different. But man, to get drilled by 50 points is just unbelievable. Something really tough to do in the NBA at this level right here. So keep your eye on them. Brooklyn Nets with a 28-point comeback versus the New York Knicks. Is this an indicator that the Brooklyn Nets are back? You know the quote that a lot of people are saying, the Nets are back or the Knicks are back. Are the Nets back? I don't know. It's hard to say, right? But they got a much needed win against the Knicks, a Knicks team who a lot of people had in the top half of the East. I mean, they've taken the biggest step back. I predicted this before. I told you guys at the beginning of the season, I said the two teams that take the 2 biggest steps backwards, Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks. Now, the Hawks were obviously a sinking ship at one point in time. They've made a run as of late, and they look a little bit better. A lot of people thought they were going to move some big-time names at the trade deadline, and they didn't. So we kind of just have to see what the Hawks are. What are they going to be able to surge like they did last year? All right. So again, a lot of questions this NBA season. You guys got to keep your eyes open. I want to ask you guys before we get out of here today, who is the sleeper team this year? The team that we're not paying much attention to that can surprise everybody. Is it Memphis? All right. Is it Boston? Can Sacramento surge of late with the trade moves that they made, bringing in Sabonis? Can they creep into the playoffs and give people trouble? All right. Will Chicago get healthy and be that Eastern Conference Finals contender that we believe to be? You guys got to let us know what you think, man. Can Minnesota or a team like Minnesota, I mean, obviously they took a tough loss to Toronto Raptors, But with the talent that they have over there, they should not be losing the way they should, especially with a much improved defense over there, which is crazy. So many questions in this league. So many questions right now for so many teams, man. You guys spam up. Who is your sleeper team for this year? Who can get through the Eastern and Western Conference? A team that, and I feel like this year is just going to be one of those teams that none of us are talking about. And they're just going to surprise everybody with a crazy run in the playoffs, right? Only time will tell. We'll start to get a feel for things more after the All-Star break. But for tonight, man, we got a great win by the Lakers, great win by the Nuggets and a lot of teams, great win for the Portland Trail Blazers tonight with a big-time win over the Memphis Grizzlies. We see Simons over there leading that team like he should. That originally was the game of the night. Man, this Laker game took the cake. Hey, but it's FYF Sports, man. Another great podcast episode. Again, make sure you guys just stay tuned, man. I know we haven't been going live as much. The reason why is because, again, we're going to be dropping more of our podcast episodes, and we want to make that our live events exactly that. Our live streams don't need to be a daily live show. We want our live events to be live events, something special for you guys, something that we do once or twice a week, where you can show up, give your takes, give your thoughts on the week's videos, and but again, turn it into something special. So again, make sure you guys still support, watch the videos. All right, check us out. Still leave a lot of comments. I'm getting a lot of comments, a lot of emails, a lot of engagement. So I appreciate that. All right. Check out the YouTube shorts. We're about to start dropping our series of YouTube shorts. So we got a lot of things coming for this channel. We're going to be making some changes. We're actually going to be starting another channel, a new channel as well. So I'll be dropping more information on that pretty soon as well. So you guys are going to all need to head over there and subscribe to that channel as well, right? Because we're going to really start diving into a lot of things sports related, but expand some of the talking points and topics that we like to dive into, especially with this new channel. But again, the FYF Sports, man, another great podcast episode. We will be back with more sports and news. But until then, it's FYF Sports.
Getting rid of them loads, gotta go get it, the life that I chose. Let a finger fuck the cash and fuck on the hoes. Been through it all, I sold a million no's. Stack up a milli, got rich nigga goals. Stack up a milli, got rich nigga goals. I got rich nigga goals. I got rich nigga goals. So trapping hard, getting rid of them loads. Gotta go get it, the life that I chose. Let a finger fuck the cash and fuck on the hoes. Been through it all, I sold a million no's. Stack up a milli, got rich nigga goals. Stack up a milli, got rich nigga goals. I got rich nigga goals. I got rich nigga goals. Ain't always that place I started was on. So million notes from the land of the old. 1B a millionaire, got rich nigga goals. Neck and wrist froze, might do the rules gold. VVS in my 41mm, keep the pack strapped with a 9mm. My bitch bag, I do right shit, keep a letter, write me, then I flip her over and beat her. Fuck me good, her shit wetter than water. Help me count up my way up for the morning. Switch my number pack, touchdown, I'm gonna run through the lows, importer, exporter. Love when the number drop, my bag increase. Up and down like stocks, hate when it decrease. Play with cash, we pop up, these niggas DC. Can't escape my past, the trap shit and me. I turned out when I sing what you make of zones. Chasing bags, trying to get it till I jumped out the porch. Sell designer, why design it down, fucking with the lows. Make movies in the club every time I light show. I turned out when I sing what you make of zones. Chasing bags, trying to get it till I jumped out the porch. Sell designer, why design it down, fucking with the lows. Make movies in the club every time I light show. So trapping hard, getting rid of them loads. Gotta go get it, the life that I chose. Let a finger fuck the cash and fuck on the hoes. Been through it all, I sold a million no's. Stack up a milli, got rich nigga goals. Stack up a milli, got rich nigga goals. I got rich nigga goals. I got rich nigga goals. So trapping hard, getting rid of them loads. Gotta go get it, the life that I chose. Let a finger fuck the cash and fuck on the hoes. Been through it all, I sold a million no's. Stack up a milli, got rich nigga goals. Stack up a milli, got rich nigga goals. I got rich nigga goals. I got rich nigga goals.